Hi guys! So today I just wanted to make a video that I've been thinking about for a while because I know a lot of people have made videos on this, but a lot of them seem to be, to me, like the same, and not all of them are from, I guess, kind of like my type of perspective. Um, so basically I wanted to talk about my experience working at Forever 21. I originally was hired, it was a while ago, June of 2014. Yeah, June of 2014, so last year. And I left this past January, in January 2015, for another job. Um, and let's just start. I left not because I hated the job and I hated the people or I got in fights with the managers or anything like that, or that I just hated the customers that much, because I feel like a lot of the videos on YouTube that people made about their experiences seem to kind of be on the more negative side, about how, they hated everything about it. And granted, yeah, there are parts that absolutely suck about the job. Like, working there is not easy. It's not super fun all the time. It's definitely strenuous. It can be, not fun, especially with some of the customers, and sometimes the management. But personally, at least in my experience, I never really had a problem with the management. To this day, I still work in the same mall, like right down the way, actually, a few stores down from my Forever 21 in my mall that I worked at, and I visit them like almost every single day. I still love everyone that works there. Granted, most of them have quit now because I feel like all Forever 21s just have a really bad turnover rate, which means that they don't retain a lot of employees. They quit pretty quickly. Like me, I quit only 9 months into the job. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I just wanted to kind of talk about some points in my personal experience that were different than I think some other people's. So in terms of the management at my store, I really got along with all of them. They're all very different people. We had head cashiers, which are like the lowest level, which are basically sales associates with a little bit more power. I can't even really explain. I guess like they carry a walkie-talkie and they talk to the managers and they kind of run the closing. I think that's basically like their only amount of real authority. And then there were the assistant managers, which obviously have more power, and then the managers, like the co-managers of the store, those were pretty much like the highest we had, I think. And so we had 2 co-managers of the store. We have a bunch of assistant managers. I got along with all of them. I will say the only time I ever got into like a conflict with management were 1 or 2 times, and it had to do with just scheduling. They just kind of made a scheduling mistake, and the scheduling manager at the time kind of like tried to blame it on me, but we resolved it and everything was fine. Like, there was no huge resentment. I didn't hate anyone. So I guess I was lucky in that, because it seems like a lot of people have huge problems with management at their Forever 21. And then in terms of the other employees, we got along great. Like, even on the just the worst days where it was just like crap working there, like it was awful, we all kind of bonded over that. Like, we all realized we were in the same experience, we were all in it together, and so we just would complain together and kind of like talk about like rude employee experiences together and stuff. So yeah, we all got along and we were like a family. So when one of us left, we were really sad, and when I left, I was really sad, and a bunch of us went out and just had like a goodbye dinner each time someone left. A lot of people like just went out and partied together, hung out together, just stuff like that. So really it is like a family environment, even though it's a huge corporate setting. So that part is really good, and I do visit them all the time. I still love them. They're just some really fun people to be around, but a lot of them are quitting, mainly just because I think for a lot of them, and for me as well, like, the job is so tiring. It's very exhausting. I had a variable schedule most of the time on weekends. My mall, the weekday hours are from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. So we open at 10, close at 9. And then on Sundays are the only other different day. They are 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. So my schedule normally, because I was in school for most of the time that I worked there, obviously besides the summer, I would, go in if I worked on a weekday at like 3 or 4 p.m. and then go until 9 p.m. But with our location, we were one of the larger locations, and we would sometimes get out at like midnight if it was a really busy night, especially on weekends. Like Fridays and Saturdays are crazy there, not only in the mall, but especially in the store. And so, I mean, the earliest we would get out was at least like 10 p.m. And even then, that was like really early. So it just takes so long to clean the store because customers, you just have to accept this part of the job. That's the thing. It's like you can either let this get to you every single day or you just get over it, deal with it, and just clean it. But the customers don't care. They don't care that you're tired, that you're a college student, that you're just like them, that you're just trying to earn a living. They don't care. They will just throw stuff everywhere. They will pick it up, drop it, not even think a second about it, throw it over the racks, make the hangers get all jumbled, just destroy the store, especially the cami tables. Oh my gosh, those were like the bane of everyone's existence. They will just completely destroy the store, and so that's why it takes so long to clean everything up, because you just have to make sure everything's looking nice and in its place for the next day. So yeah, I mostly closed, and that was just the worst. Closing just sucks. So, you kind of have to accept that part of the job. And it is difficult because we did have a lot of high school employees as well, and they struggled, I think, a little bit because in high school, you're younger and you need to study a lot and you need to get more sleep. But they would be, on weeknights, like before school, they would be getting out at like 11 p.m. each night. And so that kind of sucks. So you just have to keep that in mind if you're interested in applying, or if you just got hired at Forever 21. Just know that if you're going to close and if you're going to work during high school or college, I'm in college. I'm going to be a senior this year. So I'm kind of used to working in college now. I have been since my freshman year. But yeah, you just have to kind of deal with that and accept that they are eventually going to schedule you to close at some point. So you'll just be there really late. And it is very exhausting physically. Now, it is fun because, you do get to talk to your other employees and whatnot, but it's just super, super tiring. And that's the main reason that I left, was just because right now I have 2 jobs. And even then, some days I work doubles, meaning I work one shift at one job, then go straight to the other. And that's tiring. But I will say working 2 jobs in one day is not nearly as tiring as one shift at Forever 21. Like, it's that bad to where it's just, there are days when you like feel like you're just going to drop in the middle of your shift because it's just so tiring. But that being said, it's not nearly as negative of an environment, at least to me, socially, as a lot of people say it was. It's just the hours and like the physical labor of it is really tiring. And let me think. Another thing is the customers. Like I said, they don't really care, and there will be a lot of times where even if you tell them the return policy or they read it or things like that, they'll still complain and they'll still try to fight you on things, but you just have to accept that it is such a cheap store that there are going to be people shopping there that aren't going to act very civilized a lot of times. Granted, I shop there, so I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it being budget friendly, because I'm a poor college student. Like, I can only afford like Forever 21 prices. But yeah, you just will encounter a lot of customers that are not friendly, are not fun to deal with, but you just kind of have to suck it up and deal with that. So yeah, in terms of customers, I mean, if you go on YouTube, it's actually kind of funny because my coworkers and I a lot would go on YouTube just for fun and kind of look up like complaint videos about customers that had a bad experience at Forever 21, and they like talk all this crap about all the employees and how they're awful and how the managers and the locations are awful. They'll never shop there again. And it's just kind of like you will encounter those kinds of people that will tell you to your face how you're stupid, you're wrong, how they hate you, how they'll never shop at your store again. And you just have to kind of like let it go. Just don't lose any sleep over it. Just like understand that they're trying to make it personal, but it's not personal. It's nothing that is wrong with you. If you made a mistake, everyone makes mistakes. You're human. So yeah, I mean, I made the mistake at first of that like letting that bother me, like letting customers really get to me, and just don't do that because the job itself is already going to be tiring enough. So yeah, those are basically like, I guess, the pros and cons of it. And in terms of, let's see, I should talk about applying. So to apply, I just went in, got an application, filled it out that day, and I think I turned it in the next day. And then within about a week or two, I got a call for an interview. And the interviews are group interviews, at least for me. So both times, because I've applied another time before, and then I ended up getting a different job before that, so I didn't work there. So in the second time, I did end up working there. And it was a group interview, and those can either be really great or really bad, depending on who you are. For me, I am a very outspoken person. I think I'm a pretty strong personality, and I'm pretty good with words in terms of interviews, job interviews. So, and I've swapped around some jobs before, so I'm used to interviewing. I'm pretty comfortable with it. And in a group interview, if you're that kind of person who doesn't mind interviews and who likes talking about yourself, and talking about like your strengths and weaknesses in terms of working, then you'll be fine in a group interview. And it's very interesting as they go around and ask questions to each person to kind of hear how other people answer, because sometimes you'll encounter people that just have no idea what they're doing. Like in the interview, they'll say like the dumbest things or things you absolutely shouldn't say, or like things that are so inappropriate. So it's just kind of fun too to like see how other people treat it. But yeah, the process was really simple for me. It happened pretty quickly. I got hired. But the one thing I will say is that you don't really get trained, at least, and because my location's so crazy and huge and busy, that they don't really have training. You really have to be a fast learner. So if you're going to apply at Forever 21 and you just aren't capable of learning very quickly and picking up things very fast and just adapting and moving very quickly, then I would say this is not the job for you. Or at least if you do start working there, your experience will not be very positive. Because if you are not a fast learner and you kind of drag everyone else behind when you're new, they're not going to like you. And there have been some instances where like seasonal people or just new employees in general have not been included very much in our group when I worked there, just because they were they're not good employees, because they were just so slow and they just didn't care to like pick up things as quickly as they should have when we were training them. So yeah, you just have to be like a really fast learner, and you won't get like special one-on-one slow training. They just kind of throw you in. Like the day I had my orientation, I wasn't supposed to work until the next week. But right when I got home, they called me on the phone, I guess because someone hadn't shown up to their shift. And so they said, hey, can you work 4 to close? So I was like, oh my God. So I just went in and worked that day. And I had no training, absolutely no idea what I was doing. But I did it, and it was fine because I can pick up on things pretty quickly. So yeah, just be sure you know what you're getting into when you're applying. The process isn't very stressful. It's pretty quick and easy. I think the group interview is pretty fun in my opinion. But yeah, just know what you're getting into in terms of the position and what it takes to work there. And to recap, it's kind of exhausting, but at the same time, I think it's rewarding in that the people you will become friends with, and you'll make really great relationships. And if you are good to the managers, then they'll be good to you. And yeah, I love everyone that works there, and it was, as exhausting as it was a fun experience, and I don't regret it. So yeah, just take everything else you hear, take my advice and take everyone else's advice with a grain of salt, and don't necessarily let it make or break your decision to apply, because who knows, you might have a really great experience there too. So yeah, this is just my 2 cents on the job. I know I kind of rambled. I'm too lazy to edit this video today, so sorry if it goes on. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it helped you in your decision if you want to apply or if you just got hired. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!